Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Deborah, your How to Love Innovator. Yesterday, I went to see the movie Origin, based on a book by Isabel Wilkerson called Caste. And what she did was write a book about the caste systems around the world. And she made comparisons from every place from India to this country and every place in between or around those places. And as I drove home, I was thinking, well, really, I found it hard to think. I remember not having anything in my head, just driving and paying attention to the road, maybe looking at the white lines in the street. But and it was then that I realized that I wasn't thinking. I was just kind of there and not quite numb because I knew I was driving, but definitely stunned at the things that I just witnessed in the movie. And my initial thought was to say that Isabel Wilkerson knows how to love, and I would base that on the fact that she was very inclusive in how she approached her topic of interviewing people about the different experiences that they had around class, that's my word, and caste, which is even more villainous. And so, but then I realized that it took a lot of courage for her to do that, to to listen to someone tell her that it's not the same as the black, what we would call the transatlantic slave trade system was not as bad as the Jewish Holocaust in Germany. And I watched her kind of, the actor was brilliant, by the way, and she was trying to hear the person, but she knew she was on to something. She knew that there was really ultimately no difference in any of them. It's just how it manifested itself was different, but the root of it, what's behind it, she called it our discontentment, is the same. It's the same. And so as I listened to her talk about her she saw herself like a building inspector of an old house, and that old house is America. And when she talked about the different systems that go wrong in a house, like the roof, the plumbing, the electrical, I thought about the country then as a house who purports to be a Christian home, but the evidence of that is not so clear throughout the house. Let's put it that way. Let's say that if I were an inspector of some sort, and I guess I have kind of made myself that, uh, I would say that our faith is the foundation of the house that we have, that was built and that we have inherited. And because we inherited a faith that was a faith system that was classist and without a doubt caste like, then the religious system is the area that I would have to say, if I were to do my part in help building, rebuilding, whatever it takes, reestablishing maybe the foundation of this house that we call America, then that would be my part of building. That would be my part. And so what I've done is I've taken the architect of our religion, our faith system, I rather call it Jesus of Nazareth, and use him as the scaffold, the example, the model by which we are to recreate our aspect of the house that we live in. And I love how she talked about it's not about blame or judgment or pointing fingers, because everybody living right now inherited the house. And so if you inherit a house and you plan to live in it and stay in it, because she says it's going to always be something that needs upkeep, then our job is to figure out before it deteriorates anymore how we are going to rebuild or reestablish or fortify this house. And house love is it for me. That's my contribution to this. I say love is the to hold someone or someone in such heart, someone or something in such high regard that you make the necessary sacrifice to stay connected to that someone or something. That is how you do it. Not that you do it, not that you love, but how you love. And of course, using Jesus of Nazareth as the example, nothing but sacrifice there. I was thinking just yesterday how we always when we think about Jesus' sacrifice, we think about the death, the burial, and the resurrection, or in this case, the death. But he was sacrificing the whole time, the whole 3 years. And in the book, I show examples of his loving everybody that he encountered. And of course, in our country, we love to harp on the whole, discontent with the money changes in the temple and how he overthrew the tables. And so they love saying that. Men, I don't know if women do it too, just to prove that he was not a punk or not a wimp or whatever. But that is just human talking to justify some of the things that we have done in the name of God and in the name of Jesus. So his whole 3 years was loving. And I use examples of that, people calling adultery, people saying, I want to follow you and what do I have to do to do that? People want to walk on water, but can't quite do it initially. All of his response to all these people were acts of love. It was how you love someone, how you love. And I say all the time, and a lot of you probably have heard yourself say this, Jesus was not trying to establish a building as a church, a edifice, a physical structure. What I believe sincerely he was trying to do was be an example of how we treat each other. And that is difficult. That's going to be very difficult to undo, to change the way we're doing it. And I say that because she mentioned, and I've said it before, but in the interview she had with someone, she was sharing how the statistics suggest that in the next 20 years, our country is going to be it's going to change in terms of the numerical majority. The numerical majority in this country will be brown and Black people, and the minority, the numerical minority, will be people who call themselves white. And so she's saying we have until then. We have now. We can get started now. We don't have to wait till the last minute to start trying to figure out who we are and how we want to identify. I guess I showed up in I guess what's Scripture said, in the fullness of time for this matter, because I offer that when we learn how to love, and I mean truly learn how to love, practice loving, we change ourselves, we change our world. And I'm inviting you, if you're listening to me and you want to know how in the world am I saying we're going to do this, then hit me up, Dr. Deborah at howtolove.us, all lowercase. My name is spelled Debra. Dr. Deborah at howtolove.us, because there is a way. And let's say we got 20 years to raise this temple. It's been destroyed. We got 20 years to raise it up again. And so how to do that is my contribution to building our house. And some in our country, there are some other people working on other parts, the political system, the educational system. There are a lot of medical, there's so many systems that are interconnected, that are functioning principally the same way. And it's not working. None of them are working to their optimal capacities, because we are working with this understanding that there are people who deserve help and therefore they get it, and people who don't, and therefore they don't get it, or they don't get a quality help from the establishments. And of course, we all have to own this. It is in us all. It is not just in Black, brown people. It is in us all. It's not just white people. It is all of us. We live here. We've inherited it, some by osmosis. Sometimes we were directly trained, and some of us just pick some things up because experience taught us this is what works, and this is what you want to be. So, with all of that said, think about what your part is in rebuilding this country. And I say rebuilding because that's what it's going to take. And if we realize we got 20 years before that thing happened, if you are in the minority, you got some work to do. And if you're in a majority, you got some work to do. Same with intonation, because we all have been subject to these ways of thinking that somebody has to be on top, and somebody has to win, and somebody has to lose. That's how I know I'm on the right track, because love does not seek to win. Love seeks to love and to serve. It's been Dr. Deborah at howtolove.us. Last thing, what is your part? And start working on it. You got time.